In this video, we will show you how to replace your front fog lamp assembly on this Ford Fusion. This will be mounted to your front bumper cover. Let's get into it. We're going to start removing this forward panel up along the top. This is held in place with several push clips. To remove the push clips, you want to carefully remove the center to unlock it, and then you can remove the outer portion. You can use a small prying device. I'm using a trim tool. A quick inspection of the hardware as we continue on down the line. Last one right next to this hood latch. With all those out of place, we'll take hold of the panel, a quick inspection, and set it aside. As we move under the front bumper cover, you're going to find that you have several 7mm headed bolts making their way across. Ours is missing one in the center here. Should have 5. Let's remove all of these. Should be one there. Now we're going to continue on along each corner of the front of the vehicle. For each side, typically you're going to find some sort of push clip. It could have other hardware. Ours in particular does have push clips. For these push clips, I'm going to push in the center to unlock it and then pull it out of place. Your hardware may differ. For this one, I'm just going to reset it. Continue on to the next one. This one's falling out already. Now that we have this out of this side, let's make our way over to the other side of the front bumper cover, remove the 2 items, and then we can continue on to removing both front wheels. We've completed both sides of that bumper cover. We're at the wheels now. To remove the wheels, you're going to find you have 5 19mm lug nuts for each, and then you can get the wheel right off of the vehicle. Once you've removed the front wheels, we can continue on inside the fender liner area. You're going to find an area where the fender liner connects to your front bumper cover. Typically, there's going to be 3 push clips making their way up along the side here. Just using our trim tool, small prying device, pop these out of place. Continuing on dislodging the front fender liner, you're going to find that you have 2 10mm nut certs that are attached to studs holding this panel in place. Take hold of the bumper cover and the fender liner. We're going to gently start separating these two and pull the fender liner towards the center so we can have a look up in this area. With that hardware out of there, let's continue on just along this area. You're going to find that you have two 7mm headed mounting bolts. There's one in the corner here. It looks as though there's a port in the center. It could have been a piece of mounting hardware as well. Hard to tell. Get this next one out of here. At this point, let's repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle, and then we'll continue on along the center of this panel. Now along the center, you're going to find six 10mm headed mounting bolts making their way all the way across the vehicle. I'm going to save this one for last. Let's hold on to that panel. Remove your panel, set it aside. Put the panel out of the way. Let's make our way up inside the driver's side corner here. You're going to find you have a large wiring harness leading up to this connector. Let's go ahead and disconnect that. For it, you're going to find you have a small locking tab. Go ahead and squeeze that in and pull this out of place. There it is. Just a quick inspection of that for corrosion. Let's move over to the other side of the front bumper cover. Now up in this area of the bumper cover, there's an electrical connector right down here. Go ahead and squeeze in on that lock-in tab. Continue up just above that, you're going to find another electrical connector. Just follow this wiring harness up. All right, we've got the hardware out of there. Let's go ahead and take hold of this. We're going to start tugging it. We want to try to pull it out and away so we can make our way up inside this area. Squeeze. Just tug this. On the driver's side, you're going to find you have this electrical connector. The locking tab is on the forward side. We're just going to go ahead and squeeze on that. Pull that out of place. Now looking up in this area, you're going to find a plastic bracket. The plastic bracket is held to the bumper cover and it's holding the bumper cover to your front fender. To dislodge this, we're going to remove our two 8mm headed mounting bolts. Got one right here on the outer side. Let's get the next one. Take hold of that bumper cover. You should be able to pull it down a little bit and then pull it out and away. Now we're over on the passenger side. We've already removed the wheel, dislodged the fender liner, and now we're going to go ahead and dislodge that front bumper cover from the fender by removing our two 8mm headed mounting bolts. Once you have both sides of the front bumper cover dislodged, you can make your way back up into that engine compartment. Now back up here, along the top of the bumper cover, you're going to find that you have 2 push clips, one on each corner, and then you'll also find that you have 3 mounting screws making their way across the center. Let's start with the push clips. Using my trim tool. Now we'll be using a T25 Torx bit to remove each of our 3 mounting screws. We'll make sure we're holding onto the front bumper cover as we continue on. Go ahead and take hold of that front bumper cover. We're going to give it a wiggle and start pulling it out and away from the vehicle. With the bumper cover off, let's go ahead and carefully bring this down. We'll have a look from along the back side. We can see the fog lamp assembly and the fog lamp bezel. Start by disconnecting the fog lamp assembly wiring harness here. Just press in on the locking tab, we'll pull that out of place. Quick inspection, that looks good. Continuing on from there, we're going to remove 2 7mm headed mounting bolts. There's one here, and one in this far corner. Get the next one. Now you can take hold of that fog lamp assembly and we'll lift it up and out of position. Okay friend, it's time to install our fog lamp assembly. A quick look along the back side, you should have your fog lamp bulb in the center, and right in this area along the bottom is the adjustment knob for the beam of your fog lamp. Let's get this in position. We have our 2 mounting bolts. Start them in, snug them up. It's time for the wiring harness to the back of the bulb here. Line it, press it in. Listen for a click from that, a light tug. Now we can get this over to the vehicle. It's time to install the bumper cover. Let's take this, we'll get it in position along the top area here, starting in each of our 2 push clips, one on each corner. Press in the outer portion, lock it in with the center. Now we can start bringing the bumper cover in and across underneath the headlamp assembly and along the fender. Now we'll repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. With the bumper in place on both sides of the vehicle, we're going to install the 8mm headed bolts that hold the bumper bracket to the fender. You want to do this on each side of the vehicle. Now we can start getting our fender liner in position. We'll align it with the mounting studs of the body of the vehicle, swinging it down, and it's time for our push pins. Got one right up along the top here. Press it in, press in the center to lock it in. Let's get these on here. Over on the driver's side, before you install the fender liner, we want to connect our connectors. We'll start with this one up here. Give that a tug, make sure it's secure. Now we have our larger connector, and press that in as well. Listen for a click, a light tug, make sure it's secure. Get this in position. Once we have that aligned with the mounting studs coming from the body of the vehicle, let's continue on to our 3 push pins. After those are installed, we have our 10mm nut certs. Just go ahead and start those on there. Snug them up. Now it's time to install our front wheel. We'll get this in place. Start on all 5 of our 19mm lug nuts. Once we have them bottomed out, get the wheel safely back on the ground and torque each of them to 100 foot-pounds. Before installing the lower panel, over on the passenger side and in behind the bumper cover, we have 2 electrical connectors to connect. We'll start with the smaller of the 2. This is for the air temp sensor. This is going to go right up in this area. We'll press it in, listen for a click. Let's move along to the next electrical connector. It's time for the lower panel. For this, we want to take the forward aspect of the lower panel and slide it up and above the bumper cover. Once you're sure you have it in the proper position, we have our 6 mounting bolts going across the center. Just go ahead and start those in. They're all started in, let's snug them up. Now we have our 4 mounting bolts that are coming across the front here that we had removed. Each side of the bumper cover, you should have some push clips holding the panel to the bumper cover. Let's move along to our 2 mounting screws along the side here. We've completed this side. Go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side of the vehicle. With the wheels safely back on the ground, we'll be torquing these in a crisscross manner to 100 foot-pounds. Torqued. After torquing the wheels, we're back up in the engine compartment. It's time to start dealing with the upper mounting hardware for that bumper cover. We already started in the 2 push clips. At this point, we're going to start in the 3 mounting bolts, making their way across the front. Let's snug them up. Continuing on from there, it's time for our upper plastic panel. We'll rest this in position and start installing our clips. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. The next thing that you want to do is go ahead and test the functionality of the fog lamp, and of course, take your vehicle for a road test and make sure there's no odd noises from this area. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.